Namaste, welcome back to Stithapragna channel and you are watching AWS real-time cloud projects for beginners to experts. And we finished how many? 56 projects, and we are not beginners anymore, we are not intermediate anymore, we are actually kind of in between intermediate and experts. And by the way, that is only if you are watching from project number one, not if you joined in between. Nope, nope. Only people who are watching from project number 1 till 56 are in between intermediate to expert. And by the time you finish all the projects, as promised, you will have at least the same as a person who has 3 years of experience working as an AWS developer. Trust me, I mean, you can comment on that as well. After you finish watching all the projects, you can comment, leave comments saying like, do you guys feel like you have that much experience or not? Anyways, that being said, so we are going to do our 57th project today, which is about compliance enforcement. So we have a hospital that has many application servers that are hosted based on the requirements of many different departments and projects. The monthly bills are increasing, and the hospital's new CFO wants to know the detailed billing on application servers and other resources. In addition, the hospital is going through an audit, and the compliance officer wants to confirm that each application server is using the approved IAM instance profile. So let's go ahead and see what their problem is. Hi, thank you for meeting me on such short notice. Let me get straight to the point. Our hospital's new CFO wants to know our monthly AWS monthly costs for production compared to non-production environments. On top of that, our hospital wants an audit of all Amazon EC2 instances to make sure that they all have the correct IAM role attached. Wow, sounds like you have a busy week ahead. I'm happy to help. These two tasks might sound different, but we can use the same solution for both, only configured a little differently. That would be great. What do you propose? AWS Config, AWS Systems Manager, and AWS Lambda are three services that can help us out here. I know that Lambda is a serverless, event-driven compute service that we can use to run code for virtually any type of application or backend service without provisioning or managing servers. I have not heard about AWS Config or AWS Systems Manager. Here when she's explaining about that, it felt like the KGF movie, right? The entire movie, some random people will be talking about the protagonist in such a way that he's that, he is this. Similarly, he said Lambda, and she's like, oh, isn't Lambda this, that, but I don't know about. She could totally say, I know what is Lambda, but I don't know this. But since they want us to know what Lambda is, they made her say it. AWS Config is a service that you can use to assess, audit, and evaluate the configurations of your AWS resources. AWS Config provides you with the ability to define rules for provisioning and configuring AWS service resources. You can use AWS Systems Manager to view and control your infrastructure on AWS. Automation, a capability of AWS Systems Manager, streamlines common maintenance, deployment, and remediation tasks for many AWS services. So how will using all three services help me out our CFS2 requests? I propose that we enable two AWS config manage rules. One will determine if the right tags are applied to resources. The other will ensure that EC2 instances have the correct IAM instance profile assigned to them. Then we will set up a remediation action on the AWS config rules by using automation documents within Systems Manager. The documents will invoke two separate Lambda functions that will apply the tags and instance profiles if they are missing. I know this is a lot, but trust me, once we start doing the project, I will make sure that it is very easy to understand what they are trying to say here. I think, yeah, even I feel a little bit, but I think I understand what they are trying to say. Okay, I'm with you. And then using the tags applied to our production resources, I should be able to use AWS Cost Explorer to view a breakdown of our costs by using the environment prod tag. That's exactly right. This solution sounds promising. Can you spend some time showing me the detailed steps to build the solution? If I show you the detailed steps, isn't it like I'm doing it? Anyways, let's accept it. I'm happy to. So by the time we finish watching this project, we will learn AWS config and how to deploy it, automation within Systems Manager, and then configuring to config AWS config manager rules, and then create two automation documents within Systems Manager. So this is something that I think I'm excited about because I have never done or used AWS config and the Systems Manager. Usually in big organizations, what happens is you will have a separate team, DevOps team, who takes care of all these things. Uh, if you are working for a particular team, more likely IT team, you wouldn't have access to all this unless you are working as admin, AWS admin or something, you wouldn't. Okay, let's click on start. Okay, here we are at the video concepts. And as usual, watch all the videos. I highly recommend you to watch them. These are fun to watch, and you will learn a lot about these particular tools or services. And as usual, the videos, I'm not going to play them here. There will be a playlist that will be popping here. Click on that and then go ahead and search with the same name in the playlist. Then watch all of this. If you haven't, then watch all of this. Then come back and watch the rest of this video. All right, let's go back and let's go through the steps of for this project. So this solution, it uses AWS config to track configuration changes of AWS resources, and the AWS Systems Manager is used to remediate incorrect configurations, right? So basically at a high level, we are doing two things. One, we will identify or track the configuration changes. Once you identify, you have to fix them, right? So we are going to use Systems Manager to fix them. And how are we going to do all those things? AWS config provides customizable predefined rules that continually evaluate and flag the compliance status of AWS resources. The first rule in the solution checks for required tags. So the first compliance we are going to check is uh, tags. If all the services are tagged properly or not, or I think most likely EC2 instances are tagged properly or not. That's the first rule we are going to create on config. And then AWS Systems Manager, we can use it to automate common and repetitive IT tasks, providing predefined playbooks to manage AWS resources across multiple accounts and regions. Usually, repetitive tasks like patching your servers, etc., you can do that using Systems Manager. That's a common use case. And then AWS config rule can be linked to a Systems Manager automation playbook to quickly remediate non-compliant resources. As you can see, whatever rule you have, required tags, then to remediate, you are going to link it to the Systems Manager automation playbook. To manage and remediate AWS resources, such as to add missing required tags, AWS Lambda can be used to create custom automation playbooks that extend functionality. A typical use case for an AWS config rule is to tag resources for financial reporting and resource management. Yes, this is a common um, thing that companies do. For example, in the company that I work for, where uh, whenever you create any, let's say, Lambda function or step function, something like that, you have to tag it because in your organization there will be so many teams and each team will have their own budgets. So since this is a commonplace everybody uses, they have at the organization level they have to identify which team is spending how much so that they can charge them appropriately, right? So in order for them to do that, we have to tag each lambda function we create, each step function. It is a pain because we have to add, I think, about 15 tags every time we create one of this. It is not that many times you will do, but whenever you do it, you have to do that. And sometimes developers just feel lazy and like, we'll take care of it later, and they won't even add it. So this checking the compliance like this actually takes care of that. Like if there are any tags that are missing. Recently we got the same thing. The AWS DevOps team did that. I guess they ran it and checked. There are like so many services or applications that we are using are missing these tags, and then they sent us an email saying like these are uncategorized services or applications where they don't have any tags. Can you identify your your applications and tag them properly so that going forward we don't have to bill incorrectly to the incorrect team. Okay, so that being said, you have seen the use case. Then we have a second AWS config rule which evaluates configuration of Amazon EC2 instances, and it ensures that the correct instance profile in AWS IAM is attached. So another config rule we are creating is to check if the appropriate IAM profile is attached to the EC2 machine or not. And if the EC2 instance is not compliant, then we are going to create a second automation playbook that runs to attach the correct instance profile. Right now, I think at least it makes some sense. What are the two things that we are going to do and how we are going to fix it? Let's go ahead and check our practice lab goals and DIY. Practice lab goals, we are going to create AWS Systems Manager automation documents. And then we are going to deploy AWS config and enable rules to detect non-compliant resources. Then we create AWS config rule actions that remediate non-compliance resources. So you call them actions. Okay, rules check if they're compliant or not. Actions is something that will go ahead and fix it. And as part of DIY, we are going to create another automation document within Systems Manager. We are going to deploy another AWS config rule, which is the EC2 instance profile attached or not. Then we'll apply remediation required to make the HR web server instance fully compliant. Okay, let's don't not wait anymore. Let's go ahead and implement this solution. Okay, let's start the lab. Not bad. We have 49 steps and there are two files. Let me download them. Okay, they already created the automation YAML file for us. As usual, I'm not going to read the concept, but you read the concept. The concept is nothing but whenever we go to each step, any theoretical concept that's there associated with that particular service, etc., will be shown here. So pause the video, read it, and then go to the next step. We already did that, and we are going to go to EC2. Let me open up my Notepad++. All right, so we have it here. We are going to go to EC2, open it, and I think there are already two servers that are running. Don't forget to read the concept. We have HR app server and then web server. Let's select the HR app server, then copy the instance name, then go to tags, and you can see there are a couple of tags that are already added to it. Okay, so next we are going to go to LAMBDA, and in the functions there are total 4 functions that they created for us, and let's open the lab function and we can review the lab function code when we go there. And we are going to go to okay, what are we doing? We are maximizing the screen, then clicking on functions. What are we doing here? We went back. I don't know what they are trying to do there. Do the list of functions. Yeah, we already know how to do that. Then let's go to lab function DIY. What just happened? Oh, they just want us to review it. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's it. We are just going to review the Lambda functions for now. Then we are going to go to AWS Systems Manager, and then we are going to go to Documents, create automation document. They already provided us the script, so usually we'll only upload it. Read this. Create document, automation document. This looks similar to a step function. I never used, by the way, Systems Manager. Okay, we are going to go and name it. That's why I said I'm excited about this. Lab tag prod instances, and then click code, and then we are going to delete whatever is there, and then we'll paste whatever the file that we downloaded has. Right, paste it, and then replace the account ID with whatever. Okay, first of all, click here. paste the code, then click here, copy the account ID, then paste the account ID. All right, got it. Then go next, then review it, create runbook, got it, create runbook, and owned by me, then it will show owned by Amazon, owned by me. Looks like even there are some predefined runbooks created by Amazon. If you want to use, you can, but this is a custom. So we will click owned by me. And once we have it, let's click on it so that it will open. And in the scroll down, click on that, click on the inputs, review, and then the scroll up. I think there will be something else. But anyways, what this is doing is it is running the runbook, and this is taking the lab function. It is going to trigger the lab function name, and it is taking the input of as the instance ID that we copied earlier. Then we are going to go to the content and versions. Okay, let me write down. Okay, we can review it. This is the first version. They are just exploring system manager's documents. Details, review, scroll down, review. We are not doing anything. As you can see, there are no tags attached to this. That's fine, I guess. Then now we are going to go to AWS config, and I think we'll create our first role here. Okay, go and read the concept. Here we are going to create config service linked role. Choose a role from your account. If you don't want to use the service linked role, if you want to choose a separate IAM role, create a bucket. Then bucket name, I think it will create with the account name. That's fine. Then click next. And we are going to review different things that we want to track. So let's go click next because we are not going to select any of this. And recording started. Record all resource types with customizable overrides. Confirm. I mean, what did we select anything? Did it tell us to select anything? A full list of manager rules can be found in the config developer guide. Scroll down next page, click next, go to the next page, review the confirm next step. Seriously? Did we select any roles? Okay, zero roles. There are no roles. Okay. Did we add? No. I think click roles. Maybe we'll add them now. Okay. Yeah, we will add the role right now. I was like, we didn't add anything. Add AWS managed role. Then what we are going to search is required because there will be plenty of roles. Required, and then it will show up required tags. Then click next and name this required tags. I guess we are fine with it. Scope of changes resources. When any resource that matches the specified type or the type plus identifier is created, changed, or deleted. And resource category is AWS resources. Specify a scope to constraint which resources invoke an evaluation for a role. The scope can include one or more resource types, a combination of a tag key and value, or combination of one resource type and one resource ID. And what is our, I think, resource type, which is going to be EC2I, which will give EC2 instance. Okay. And we are going to select that. And what are the keys that we are going to give? Tagging keys. Let me note down here before we forget. This is going to be tag one value environment. Okay. Tag one key is environment. Tag one value is prod. I think only those two. Click, scroll down. Then review it and save it. Yes, we created our role successfully. Now we have the role, but when we identify any EC2 instances that doesn't meet the compliance, we need to do something. We need to remediate it, right? So we have to create actions. So manage remediation, actions, manage remediation. Then here we are going to select the remediation, which is the lab tag prod instances. Remember where we got this from? From the systems manager, right? We created that, the playbook or runbook. Okay, so we will select that. And then resource ID parameter is instance ID. Remember our runbook that we created, it takes instance ID as the parameter. That's what we are telling. Save changes. That's it, done. And now if we go back to uh, select that our instance, remediate because it already identified, I am assuming. Remediate, then choose all, review, click refresh, then I think it is going to show complaint. Before that it was non-complaint. After remediating, it is complaint. Okay, let's go see that. Okay, good. Once we do that, we are going to go to EC2 instances, app server, and click tags. As you can see, it successfully added the environment as prod. This was the one that was missing, right? We created in the role that anything that doesn't have that particular tag, go ahead and add it, which it added. And if you go to the security now, that is done. The app server is down. Now let's select the web server. And if you go to security and see, it doesn't have any IAM role. So this we are going to fix as part of the DIY. So if you go to tags and review, these are the tags that it currently has. And what does this say? Review to ensure that the Azure website does not have the environment pro tag. And even this one doesn't have the environment tag applied to it yet. And then you are going to go to roles, IAM roles, and then search with EC2. You will see something called EC2 base role, and then copy that base role. Why? Because we are going to use that base role to remediate the EC2 instances that are missing IAM role. Okay, so got it. I mean, pretty much that's it. I know if you're not familiar with these services, it's a lot to take, but let me uh, summarize this for you. Okay, so there are two issues that we are actually checking against. Not against, but we are checking to make sure if they are compliant or not. Compliance is something that every project, every company will create their own compliance rule saying that, for example, a common known is password has to be changed every 3 months. So that can be an example wherein the company can go ahead and uh, create some rules in the AWS config. Not maybe not config, maybe config cannot check the passwords, etc. But you will use services to check when is the last time the users changed the password for it. And we can create a condition saying if it didn't change uh, after, if it is older than 90 days, then they have to send an email to that person to ask change the password, something like that. But in this case, what we are doing, we have two things that we are checking, which are EC2 instances tagged properly with all the tags. In this case, we are only checking if the environment tag is applied to each instance or not. If it is not attached, then go ahead and add it, right? So to figure out whether it is attached or not, that is something called configuration change, right? Because tags are considered as configuration to the EC2 instance. So you can like kind of audit any configuration change using AWS config, which is what we are using. And we created a rule and we created a tag saying like, the environment prod. If it is not there, the remediation or the action that we are taking is go ahead and add it. How are we doing that? We are using a Lambda function to do that. But instead of triggering the Lambda function, we created a AWS System Manager run book, which takes care of adding that tag to that particular instance. That is one role which we did. And the second role which we are going to do using DIY is, the rule is check if any of the EC2 instances don't have the correct uh, profile, instance profile. It's nothing but the IAM role, whether it is attached or not. If it is doesn't, then the remediation we are going to do is attach it, and again we are going to do that using another run book or playbook. I hope you understood that. I hope. I hope so. Oh, I don't know why I'm going. We still have to do the practice. I was like, oh, I almost forgot to do it. Yeah, every time this happens. Okay, let me maximize this. Okay, remember first thing we are also going to do is EC2, and we will have two instances already spinning for us. Okay, well, let's put aside the web server for now. Let's click HR app server, and we are going to copy this name for now because we are going to use that name later on. Okay, and if you go and select the tags, you will see that particular tag is missing, right? It doesn't have the environment tag. So we are going to go ahead and select that. Okay, now let's go ahead and check out those Lambda functions that are created, and I hope it will let us open them. Okay, I don't see that error. Now if you see, look at this Lambda function reviews tags in all the instance and updates the required tags. All right, the Lambda handler is the function that gets executed whenever you run the Lambda function. So here we are connecting to um, using Boto 3, and get caller identity account. We are getting the account number, and then instance, because I think this takes input as an instance, right? Because event, whatever parameters you pass to the Lambda comes from event, and here you can see it only can, you only get the instance ID that you are passing here, and then you are pasting here. And response account is something that you already got from here. And then we are checking the resource tags, our tag resources, and you are checking if environment prod exists or not. Complaint step, complaint annotation, this resource is compliant with the role. If it does. Okay, so that is one of the function, and another function they want us to go and check is, I think, lab function DIY. I mean, this is for the DIY, we can check later. This is for the instance profile. It does the same thing, but instead of tag, it will check for the lab instance profile. I think that is the name. Anyways, these two are the Lambda functions. We don't have to worry about them much because we are not directly triggering them anyways. So let's go ahead and create the system manager. Okay, here we go, systems manager space. So let's go to systems manager, and under this there are several services. And okay, is it not showing or what is happening here? Get started with systems manager. Okay, you can see there are so many things you can do using systems manager, which I'm not going to walk you through. But what we are interested is in the documents, and we are going to create a document, automation document, that too. And you can see some of the AWS documents that are, several of them are already here. Attach IAM to instance, attach EBS volume. So this automatically does all those things. Apply chef recipes if you have any. Apply Ansible playbooks, etc. We are not interested. Click on automation document. That's what we are going to create. That's what we are here for. I don't need walkthrough. This looks same as step function. Let's click on that. And we are not going to drag and drop. Instead of, we are going to copy paste the code. We already have it. Delete it. So let me go and copy the content. Okay, here we are. This is the code that they gave us. All they are doing is parameters, instance ID, and the steps are update tags. How are we doing it? By invoking a Lambda function. And what are the inputs to the Lambda function? The instance ID, which is the payload we are sending, and the function name. It's throwing error because we need to replace the account ID. So the account ID can be replaced by copying the account from here. Let's replace it here. Okay, I think we should, because that is fine now. All right, cool. Okay, done. So once we finish doing this, we named it and etc. Okay, that's fine. I think that's all we have to do. Create runbook, create runbook, and the runbook is created. But to view, go to owned by me, and you can see that is the one that's created here. Versions, there is only one version. Content is whatever we copy pasted. You can see something like that here. And if you go to details, instance ID, it automatically gets document is currently private, and we don't have any tags created for this or etc. I think that's fine. There is nothing much to see here. That's about it. Okay, now since we have the document, because this is used to remediate, and then let's go to our config, not app config, AWS config. I don't know. Is it Amazon config? It's not. How about config? Yeah, it doesn't have anything before it or what? Okay, anyways, so we are here and we can click on get started. You can go set up anything is fine, it doesn't matter. Okay, and A will only record the resource types that you specify. Resource type, did we do all this? I don't think so. Choose frequency daily continuously, I don't think so. Continuous record configuration changes continuously whenever I change. Yeah, I think this is what we want. And all globally recorded IAM resource types, no, I think no, it's not this. What are we trying? What is the resource type we are going to EC2 instance? Did this change? I'm so lost here. I think this is what we checked, right? I don't know. Where did all this come from? Okay, let's recheck again before I do something irreversible. See, they directly went here. I think the remaining was added later on or something. Or maybe they just want us to scroll down directly. Okay, so I think that was the selected, that was selected. Let's not select anything, I guess. Let's go here, create a bucket. The bucket is already created or not created, but it will create with the account. Next, what is missing? Override. That's okay. Even though they didn't tell us, I think we are fine with it. Okay, what are we doing here? Required. And you see there are several, but where is it? I think maybe okay, we are not going to add any rules now. Let's click next, confirm, and it is setting it up, signing up with config, and it is done. Let's go to view dashboard, and we don't have any rules for this, right? We just created it, but there are no rules. So let's click on rules. No rules found. Can I not add rules? Okay, I think here, not in the aggregators. Add rule. Okay, let me move this aside. Find rules required. I mean, for them, it only one thing showed up, and for me, plenty of things are showing up. But anyways, what we need is the required tags. We are going to check that this particular required tags are actually there or not. Okay, and let's leave them as is. Evaluation mode, it depends on this, I guess. Scope of changes, resources, and resource categories, no, AWS resources, and it is what? EC2I, right? Why is it not showing up? Capital EC2? It won't show? Okay, fine. EC2 space I. This is what we are going to resource, because we are not checking whether this tag exists on all resources or not. Instead, we are only interested to check whether this tag exists on the EC2 or not. And the tag one value cost center, I think I mentioned you this, right? That is some common tag you will use for different projects. And the value for this is prod. So only one we are checking. Rule tags, we are not tagging the rule, so that's fine. But usually you will be tagging the rule as well. Okay, now we have it. We created it. Okay, let's click on this. And you have manage remediation, right? And before doing that, we created the role. Let's go to the dashboard here. Okay, confirm packs by score, resources, rules. Unusually high traffic. Seriously? Then that is not my problem. Okay, what did it say? Not set. Remediation not set. Anyways, as you can see, immediately it said one non-compliant resource, which is our app server. Okay, so it successfully ran it, and if you see, not just one, both the servers are non-compliant. And do you remember which one is one? Ours. This is the app server. This is the web server. Both of them don't have the tag, but we are only going to remediate this one. But in order to click that, we need to actually go to the rule, select it, actions. We need to manage the remediation first of all, then we can go and remediate it. So how are we doing right now? We are doing manual remediation. What is the action we are going to do? Well, I already created one, which is the lab tag prod instances, which is the SSM automation document. I don't care about all this. Oh my God, I need a proper place for this. I'm moving them. Click save changes. Okay, which parameter? Oh, resource. Oh, yeah, I need instance ID parameter. Save changes. Right? Okay, now I have it. Now I have the remediation. So now all I have to do is I'm only going to fix this one though, because that's what they did. I can fix the other one as well, but we'll do that as part of DIY. Click remediate. So behind the scenes, what will happen? The SSM document or playbook will be triggered. That playbook is going to trigger the Lambda function. This executed successfully, and after some time it should not complete, because this executed and added the tag to what? To the EC2. So now this rule has to run and check it, and then it will figure it out that is non-compliant, or sorry, compliant. So it takes little bit of time. So let's leave it right now. Instead, what we are going to do is directly go here, select the app server, select the tags, and let me refresh this. And as you can see, it added the tag. So it will take some time, but I don't know how long it will take to make it compliant, but it will do it. Okay, so that's all the practice lab that they showed us. So let's review it one more time. We went and checked our EC2 machines. We have two EC2 machines, and the app server, it doesn't have the tag that we are looking for, which is the environment prod. Even the other server, the web server, even that doesn't have it as well, the tag, as well as it doesn't have the role. So as part of the DIY, we are going to fix that as well. But current for now, just concentrate on the app server. And then what did we do? We went to the systems manager, and then we created a document for the automation. And what does it do? It whenever somebody triggers it, it is going to trigger a Lambda function which takes the instance ID as the value and adds tags. Which tag it will add? Environment product is hard coded in the Lambda function. We have noticed it. It will go and add it to the EC2 instance. Now we went to the AWS config and created a rule which said if environment prod tag is not there on any of the EC2 instance, go ahead and remediate it by running that playbook. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, it's still showing non-compliant. So what I'm thinking is we might have to execute this rule manually. Let's refresh this. Enable evaluation mode we said is detective, not manual, right? Okay, so how long does it take? Okay, one complaint. So looks like it fixed it. Okay, so it fixed it, look like, and if I see any complaint status, it will show one as complaint, one as non-complaint. Oh, looks like there are several. I don't know. Maybe this has something. It's okay. Let's go select. Okay. So as you can see, this is our app server, which is complaint. Then there is another one, which is non-complaint, which we are going to fix as part of the DIY. Anyways, so far good. Okay. If you still have some confusion or questions, you can leave the comment and let me know if you have any questions regarding any of these projects. Anyways, we are going to repeat the same process in the DIY, but for a different role. So we are going to again create a new automation document. So let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. So system manager. Okay, let's open this up. Go to documents. Again, create document automation. This should clear out any doubts you might have. And this one, what do we name it? Let's see. This lab missing profile instances. I think that should be fine. Let's click code, delete this, and they already gave the code for us. It's going to be similar to the previous one. Instead of tag, they will be triggering the other lambda function, which is the lambda function DIY. Same thing, it will take instance ID, but it will fix the profile IAM role. Okay, let's replace this. All right, I think that's it. Create. This is very easy to create. This, I mean, run book is simple. We already checked it. We don't want to check it. That's fine. This is all we have to do for this, and we will go to the, and here we are going to create another role. Yeah, managed role. Let's see, what will that be? Missing. I don't know. I don't know the exact name. I'm just searching. Missing. Nope. Profile. Yeah. Okay. EC2 instance profile attached. Next. I think that's fine. Resources, and it's EC2 instance. It already selected that for us, which is good. And what is the value we are selecting? Do we have to? So how do we know? We don't have to give any parameters, right? If it doesn't have anything, yeah, just add it. I don't think we need to add anything. At least I'm assuming. Let's see. Save it. remediation, select it, but let's see if it is going to identify our web server or not. Let's give it some time and let's see. Why I'm saying the web server? Because do you guys remember the web server is missing the profile? I think what? Security? You can see it's missing that profile. So let's go. Let's see. I hope I added the correct rule. Let's see if they gave any hints for us. Yeah, using the EC2 instance profile attacher role. Oh, there is already one. Okay, app server, it has it, so we are good. It's okay, ignore it. We are concerned about the. Okay, it identified it. How do we know if it is that? See this FC9 is our web server. It is non-compliant because it doesn't have a profile attached to it. And app server, it won't complain about it because this one has an IAM role already attached to it. So I think it is good. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and remember we went and saw the IAM role that we need to add to it or etc. So that's fine. Now let's go to rules. Select this one. We need to do a manage remediation, right? Is it manual? Yeah, let's pick manual. And this is not the my remediation rule. Instead, I will pick missing profile instances. And I think instance ID is the parameter. Save changes. Cool. Now let's go to my, it's already here. Click remediate. Wow, that was fast. Now let's go here, refresh this. Let's select this one and security. As you can see, the EC2 base role is added to this successfully. Now when this gets executed, it will take some time. Dashboard. It should show 2 complaint resources. And also, let's go and click roles. Let's click on this and let's remediate this one as well. I mean, if you go here, we only remediated the other one, not this one. So let's remediate this one as well, so that we should not have any complaints issues at all. It should fix both of them. Okay, so let's give it some time. Now let's go back here. What is it asking? HR web server instance ID, which is this one. Let me copy, paste. I won't validate it yet because it's still doing its remediation thing. Sometimes it takes really some time to fix it. I will just wait. I think there will be some time when it will check again and again and again, I guess. Okay, you can see there is none that are non-compliant. So for that reason, it is not showing here, which is a good thing. What about the other one? Rules 2 non-compliant, where? We don't have any. Non-compliant, compliant. Yes, see, both are compliant, which is good. We can go here, happily click on validate. And it will obviously show the sweet green. Yes, you did it. The EC2 instance is tagged and the IAM profile is attached. Now return to the city. All right, so that's about it. Just don't end it. We still have so much to do. But I hope you enjoyed this project. If you enjoyed this project, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment. Liking and comment, you should not forget. Why? Because when you do that, and only you can do it, that actually makes the YouTube pick our videos as the top search result whenever somebody searches for AWS real-time projects. So I think that's something that you guys can do for me, guys and girls both. I'm not discriminating anyone. So if you can do that, I would really, really appreciate it. So just comment whether you like this project or not, if you have any questions regarding the project, and don't forget the like. Let's click exit and give the good news. All right. I love AWS Config and Systems Manager. Choose a reward as a token of my appreciation. This looks nice, these colors. And it's time for feedback. And obviously, I'm going to give them a 5-star rating. I like it. These are different scenarios, they are putting out there so that we can get some experience. I mean, this is like doing a real job, right, in real company. So obviously, I will consider this as having real-time experience. Okay, fireworks, not huge ones because the trees are tall, but that's okay. And rating feedback time. Go ahead and let's give it. And you can pause the video or you can keep watching this and minimize this. At bottom, hit the like and also leave a comment if you enjoyed this project or if you learned something new about AWS config and etc. So when you are preparing for cloud practitioner and solutions architect, usually we only know these tools, services, but we don't know how we are using them. But when you see how we are using them here, it's already so always, at least for me, when I see things, I understand a lot more than listen. Which tasks are required to deploy config? Specify an S3 bucket to receive configuration information. Choose at least one manager role to start evaluating. Define which role linked to AWS IAM. Sure. Specify that is what? I don't want to start my quiz with like this. That's why we should not hurry. Take time. Take a deep breath. Which type of document within AWS Systems Manager does use to apply remediation? It's automation. But the first question, that's sneaky question. No, I already am out of this. Wow, seriously? Okay. You see? Look at those colors. AWS config rule represents desired configurations for a resource and is evaluated against configuration changes on the relevant resources as recorded by AWS config. I think so, unless I didn't understand what they're trying to say there. Okay, we don't have any blue ones here. Okay, there are plenty there. Customers can use three types of AWS configurables: managed, marketplace managed, and customer managed. Huh? I don't know about marketplace managed. Maybe it's a thing. I don't know. Let's say, but I don't think it exists. Yeah, I don't think there are anything like marketplace managed. Nah. Okay. Which AWS service is fully managed and provides an AWS resource inventory configuration history? Oh, come on. You, we just did it, so obviously we can answer it. Maybe if they ask this question some other random time, maybe we won't be able to, but right now definitely we can answer that. What can users configure to keep traffic between their VPC and AWS Secrets Manager within the AWS network? Come on, come on, guys. What do you guys think? Traffic between their VPC and the secret manager within the AWS network. Is it definitely it's not this. This is for IPv6. This is to and fro. Actually, it gives public access. NAT gateway usually to public. So it is VPC endpoints. I think we are out of AWS config questions. So let's try to do a orange drone zapping because it's been a while that we didn't zap any oranges. I mean, we did these many questions, but still the cards, I'm not getting enough cards to these ones. Let's hope we have Lambda. I think these three should be there. Okay, here we are, and luckily we have all of them. So let's see this. Build an architecture that collects real-time votes, provides aggregate votes data, and groups them by candidate region and so on. Okay, we have API gateway, which is usually the entry point into our system. And then we have DynamoDB streams. Okay, wow, we have plenty of this. Okay, so usually DynamoDB streams is after DynamoDB. Um, and then we have Lambda, API gateway, and then usually a Lambda. Okay, not from here. DynamoDB secondary index, no. Yeah, we have Lambda, but it is saying run code without thinking about servers. Yeah, I can put a DynamoDB, but I'm like without doing anything directly you are putting. Usually you will have a Lambda inserting data into DynamoDB. Okay, if that's what you want, that's what we will give you. But again, we have these many. What are we going to do in these many? This is DynamoDB streams. Yeah, I think this is Lambda. Lambda, then you will have DynamoDB. Then you can use DynamoDB streams, which, yeah, this is not very clear at all. Did I miss it? It's here. So they're saying collects real-time votes, provides aggregate votes data and groups them by candidate region and so on. How are you going to fill this many cards just based on that? There is S3. I don't see S3 anywhere. And that, and then you can use streams, I guess. Run code without NoSQL that stores constant in a different structure. Yeah. So basically, yeah, after DynamoDB, you are going to use the DynamoDB streams, and then you will aggregate using again Lambda function. And then you are going to store that again on DynamoDB. I think at least that's what they're trying to say. Let's see if this validates. Yep, that's what I thought so. So even if you remove this, NoSQL database that stores consolidated voting in a different structure. Again, it is this. And here, if you go to the hint, run code without thinking about servers, which means serverless, which is Lambda, and captures a time ordered sequence of item level modifications in a DynamoDB table, which is DynamoDB streams, and NoSQL database, which is DynamoDB, and no run, no server, and then you have publishers API too. Okay. So I have seen this several times, even if you put the proper things, for some reason it doesn't validate correctly. So I don't think we can do anything here. Yeah, we are writing into a NoSQL. Yep. Using streams, we are getting it. Yeah, I think we'll just exit. I don't think it is doing it. I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. Let's exit it. That's the reason I don't even like to do this. Okay. So let's try to do one more orange. If we cannot, then I guess that's fine. Let's hope at least this one works for us. And if I'm doing something wrong there, leave in the comments like what am I doing wrong? Because this is not the first time It happened like that even though I picked the right ones. If I didn't pick the right ones, let me know in the comments. Let's finish this. I mean, the last project was very quick, right? 25 minutes or so, and this one is a little long. Oh my God, even here, so many cards. Okay, that's fine. Marketing team generates and stores large volumes of data, and they want to build a scalable analytics layer for the data, help them build a solution. So analytics means usually they will have Redshift. Yes, they will have Redshift. And if I look at it, you have S3, and what all we are using? Athena. So on top of S3, we will run Athena. So Athena. Okay, here. That's what we will do. And then we have what? QuickSight. QuickSight will be what? On top of Redshift, we'll have QuickSight. So somewhere here, what is this? Glue data catalog. Oh, never mind. Glue data catalog will be before Athena. Okay, we have a SageMaker endpoint. SageMaker endpoint. Um, okay, hold on. This is a little bit confusing, but let's see. Let's try to do without looking. QuickSight, right? QuickSight, you can, I guess, use it here. Maybe here, and then here the catalog, glue catalog, and maybe Redshift here. Nope. Athena here. I think Redshift here. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, so here we have a central repository that stores metadata for multiple data stores, which is the glue catalog and the business intelligence tool, and then that. Let's hope. This one worked. That's weird. Anyways, I think that's about it, guys and girls. And if you like this project, you can go ahead and leave comments, like, enable notifications, subscribe, and you can also support this channel by becoming a member. Okay, thank you for your time, and have a nice day. See you in the next video. Peace out.